Alright, boys and girls, August the 5th, 12/24. A gentleman sent me this little kit here. You see this? I guess he's got one of those laser outfits. See that nickel in there? Now it'll accept a quarter. That's the biggest coin you can get in it. Tilts. See, I've got it straight up vertical turned. We're going to show these two detectors here. Manticore and this HF2 coil. So these things here have these things on the bottom. And you see you can change your height. That's the tallest one. Alright. There's his YouTube channel. You might want to go over and take a look at it. Okay? Now he's asked me if I think he ought to make any changes of this. Here's the only thing I would recommend. See these things here? You got them on the bottom of this one. That one's got them on it too. If I could stack these. So if you could put holes in the tops of them here, where you could stack them if you wanted to. Okay, he's got a little gauge out here, so you could lay something on this too and adjust it. This is not a bad little thing here to get used to your metal detector. Playing with the settings. A manual doesn't go into a great deal of detail. It's sort of general. You can learn what modes, what frequency does what better. Okay. So that's it. He sent this to me. I didn't buy it. He paid the shipping. Alright. So that's the only thing I would change on it. Allow these to be stacked. You see that little piece of nail I cut off there? It's laying there. You see that? You see that nickel? I'm going to give you a top-down view of that. You see what we've got? We're going to be sweeping that coil like so. We'll sweep it some other ways too, but I'm going to do this little demo here. Okay. Now this Manticore is an alternating low conductors. That nickel's a low conductor. Alright, we're in speed 6 for now. The disc pattern is wide open. The upper ferrous are at 7. Okay. And we'll turn the sensitivity up. 26 maybe. We'll noise cancel it again. Okay. Now, if I bring the coil back here, you see where the coil is? You hear that tremendous audio on that nickel? Depth audio. But I'm going to come straight down the top here. You hear that? A pip squeak sound. Well, you got to be listening, okay? Now, I'm down there fairly close now, that nail. Not on top of it. I'm pretty close. Now, if I bring the coil back here, or out here, so you get to hear that audio when the masking is more or less out of play. But right here, you hear that? Now, that's upper ferrous limit 7. Let's just let them to 5 and see what happens. No real help. You see that? Maybe a little help. Alright. It's got noisy on me, huh? Level Ferris limit 7. I better turn that sensitivity on to 25, but listen to that. You hear that? Or what you don't hear. So you could be walking along, sweeping this metal detector. If you swept through here, you'd be all right. If you swept here, you would be all right. If you come through there, you might not be so in such great shape. But remember, whatever you hear can make you stop, and you may re-sweep it. You may push the call forward and hear it, pull the call back and hear it, or turn on it and hear it. But you gotta have something to get you curious. There's lots of commercial airliners through here, boys and girls. You hear that? You don't really hear much, do you? Just a slight little click sometimes. Hear that? Now the speaker's max on this machine. You see that? Okay, we'll come through there again. Now that's speed 6, 4. Pretty weak. Speed 7. Seem to get a little better signal coming right to left, left to right. You hear that. What you don't hear. Okay. I'm going to turn the Manicore back on later in this video. I'm going to remove that little piece of iron. Now we're going to turn the Manicore off. I'm going to turn the camera off. That's not moving. We'll turn this DS2 on. Alright, we got the old HF2 coil fired up here. Now I'm going to turn the Manicore back on, and I will sweep this a few more times before I just move that iron, okay? Because I'm going to sweep that Manicore back over that nickel without that little piece of iron there, okay? Okay, this is speed 2, silencer 2. Fast program pitch 2, 6.8 disc, okay? 89 kilohertz band. You hear that? Two-way signal. Call height. Now down real close. Again, I can pull the call back here and push the call out here and come around over here. Okay. .53 kilohertz band. I keep the call perpendicular as I can to that nickel. One-way signal. Get the call up. See what happens? There's nothing there much. I'm going to put the reactivity now to 2.5, 53 kilohertz band. Okay. 2.5 reactivity, 89 kilohertz band. One-way signal, but at least I get some kind of alert. Call height, coming up with a call. That's what I want to do with that Manicore when I turn it back on. Now remember, you know, you don't generally sweep exactly straight left to right. So in your sweep, the call could come across that perpendicular. You see what I'm saying? At the end of your sweep, maybe it wouldn't, and you might hear it with that machine better. But this machine here, you notice, an 89 kilohertz band, it can't hide, can it? Strong signal no matter what. some kind of alerts. Okay, 29 kilohertz band, 2.5 for speed. I'll rotate. So we're hitting it that way, but 29 kilohertz band. So if I push the coil out, pull the coil back, but right through there, see there in the wild, that would easily be missed. Speed 2, 29 kilohertz band. Down close. So down close I get some signal. A little. Call high, no go. Maybe some one way. Speed 3, 29 kilohertz band. Speed 3, 89 kilohertz band. Keep that coil perpendicular. So speed 3 there doesn't do as good a job, probably is slower. Speed 2. Okay, I'm going to turn off this machine. Let's turn this manicore back on. Okay. Still at upper Ferris limit 7. There's speed 5. Okay. So here's call height. I've got an 8-9 in the meter with call height. When I get down there though, I run into problems. When I get down lower to that, closer to that nail, you barely can hear this thing popping, but call height. Good strong signal. But when I get down there close to that nail, right there's about an inch over that nail, speed 5. The speed 2 over there, 89 kilohertz, was whooping that nickel. You see that? Okay, pull the coil back, push the coil forward. I better turn this manicore back on, I almost forgot. Okay. So there's speed 5. We'll let this car get by. I don't know what's cancel this machine again. Okay, that nail knob hasn't moved, okay. So now we're down here, we're sort of close. That's speed 5, up Ferris limit 7. You hear that? Alright. Now I'm going to remove that small piece of iron. You see how small that is, boys? Alright, it's laying over here. If I repeat this test now down close, you hear what happens. Boom. I've got 3 in the meter. If I rotate, I get 28. If I back the call up, 26, straight over the spine, a 2 and a 3. But I don't get that when that nail's there, do I? But you see how small that is. That's going to conclude the video.